Today, I want to talk to you about scaling your business while also saving your energy. Because here's the thing about scaling that nobody really talks about. It's always this goal, like, got to scale our business. We have to grow and we have to scale. And, we're working hard to build this amazing business and we're growing and we bring on more clients. Yay, we love bringing on more clients. And we need team members to help offset the additional workload for us. And one day you wake up completely exhausted. You're resentful of this thing that you worked so hard to build. And you're wondering why this thing you worked so hard for, why success feels like this. And it's because nobody warned you that scaling without actually protecting your energy is just building a fancier prison. It is just building something that starts treating you like a job whose boss you despise. I learned this the hard way, and today we're going to talk about it because I'm going to save you from the hard way. There is this assumption in business that growth equals more, more clients, more revenue, more team, more output. And yeah, I guess structurally that's true, but what nobody talks about, because we're all so success driven and goal driven and, oriented towards bigger, better, faster, growing, scaling, all the things, is that it's like more money, more problems. The more that you build your team, your client base, your business, it also means more decisions, more people depending on you, more fires to put out, more emotional labor, and more of your energy being spent pulling you in every direction. And if you scale your business without also scaling your boundaries, without also growing your support scaffolding and focusing on your self-care, you will burn out. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I've watched it happen to so many brilliant PR pros that are members of my community and my programs. And I've honestly had it happen to me more than once, honestly. We're going to talk about, the energy drains that are secretly kind of sucking the life out of you. And some other things to be aware of as you're growing and scaling this business that is your dream. Like, I want all of us to have this level of success that is our dream and to feel fulfilled by the work we're doing in the process without completely draining your energy and growing to resent your business. So one of the energy drains that nobody really talks about is this client communication overload. More clients means more emails, more Slack messages, more, quick questions that pop up that eat your entire day, more emails popping into your inbox that are somebody else's decision on how you should be spending your time, somebody else's needs being prioritized over yours because that email pops up in your inbox, you get an alert, and now all of a sudden you are distracted and focused on whatever they need, and you want to get back to them right away because you're a great communicator and you want to be the most responsive person. And so you're going to stop what you're doing and focus on answering that quick question that now has derailed your deep work that you had planned on doing for that day. That's part of the energy drains that come along with more clients. There's also decision fatigue. And when you are the only person making decisions every single day, your brain will get fried. Even those small decisions add up and they add to this mental load. There's always this invisible mental load of all of the things we're thinking about and deciding on, even, small decisions and tasks that we have to complete and trying to figure out how to prioritize all of those things. All of that adds up and creates mental load that comes from this decision fatigue where your brain is just like fried. There's also the emotional labor. It's, I had this coaching call today with members of our agency accelerator mastermind, and we were talking about our role in dealing with clients, in some small way, we are also kind of like psychologists. We're managing the client's emotions, the team emotions. There's always some member of your client's team that's a little threatened by you because here you are, this strong, independent woman running your own business, and they sometimes see how much you're charging. They know your retainer. You're possibly making more money than they make from the client, and they have to show up and be present in this job, and you get to just kind of come and go as you please. You're not accountable to them for clocking in and clocking out. And there's always somebody on like a marketing team that's a little threatened by you coming in, and the client respects the work you're doing and they're deferential to your expertise, and this person on the marketing team feels a little bit threatened. And so now we're acting in kind of a psychologist role, understanding what motivates them and trying to figure out how to endear ourselves to them and make them love us. I'm like, you will love me by the time we get through the first few months here, because I'm going to make you look good, but I have to figure out what is this person's fear or concern about bringing us in, and how can I overcome that by helping to make them look really good. We're also dealing with our own emotional heaviness and baggage. PR is relational work, and relationships take energy. At least the ones that are the best relationships take an investment, and that's draining. The other thing too, I mentioned a bit about when a client sends an email and you stop what you're doing and you answer their email because you want to communicate and be super responsive, and you stop what you're doing and you focus on that email and then you try to go back. That is called context switching. That is jumping between your client's crisis and your other client's strategy document that you're working on, and then your team's questions that are coming through on your Slack channel. And then your phone is ringing and you see that it's your kid's school, and there's always that like feeling where your heart jumps out of your chest and you're wondering if everything's okay. And of course you answer and they're like, it's so-and-so's school calling and just everything's okay. However, we need, to bring this to your attention. And you're like, okay, now I have to kind of deal with this. Your brain never gets to settle. And when you move from one thing to another, there is lost focus and productivity and time gearing up from the task you were doing, thinking about the next thing, and then getting back over to the other thing that you were focused on. It takes mental bandwidth. It's not as simple as going from one thing to the next and then back again. There is lost time, effort, and focus in the active context switching. Then there's the just one more trap, one more client, one more project, just one more thing, until there's no more you left. This is what happens with driven, focused, successful women who we know what we're capable of. We know that we can get more business, bring in more revenue, and push ourselves because we're capable, but we're also not really thinking about the toll that it takes on us personally. And so I want you to think about protecting your energy as you grow. And I'm going to give you some practical things to consider to help you do this. Your energy, especially if you are running your household in addition to your business and you're the CEO of the family, managing all the household stuff, there's this kind of running laundry list in our heads as women. It's almost like my computer also has all the tabs open at all times. I nickname myself Tabby because I just am like, I know that I have to go back to that. If there's a tab open, do I always go back to those tabs? No. Are they always just kind of up and running and like taunting me that I have one more thing I have to focus on? Yes, it's not the best idea, but this running to-do list of all the things, it's like this mental load we carry as women that, and my husband is incredibly supportive and helpful, and he takes on major responsibilities in our family. But when it comes to noticing the things happening in the house and noticing the things that have to get done, it's like there's so many things that I'm managing and doing that it's not even on his radar. like changing the air conditioner filters or giving the cats and the dog flea medicine and heartworm medication, getting their food in the house, getting the kids, practices for golf and tennis squared away, and figuring out all of the rides. If, I can't pick them up, who's going to take them? And what's the sort of, if I have a work thing, I have to figure out how to get my kids home. And, if their timing doesn't line up perfectly, it's like, all the running list of all the things, like the birthday presents for the friends, and, all of the things that's like the sort of silent load that women are constantly thinking about. That is like very depleting of your energy. And it's something that part of it is kind of hard to delegate. I believe that there are really effective ways to automate a lot of that. Like I mentioned, air conditioner filters and shower filters that I'm changing, and groceries that I'm getting, and cat and dog food and medicine. All of that can be automated through Amazon, and then you set it for the frequency that you need it. And when it comes, now it's time to change the filters or give the cats and the dog medication. A lot of that can be automated with reminders. You can set a frequency of reminder. I mean, even for me, I have a reminder to feed my sourdough starter. Okay. I'm not saying that I don't ignore it sometimes, but if I did not have a reminder, I would forget about it and I would let it die. And that would be really sad, because we love sourdough in this house. And I like to have a healthy, active starter so that I can make sourdough whenever I want, although it's been a while lately. And I probably need to feed the starter, but I have an alert for that so that it's out of my brain, because your head should be an idea generating machine. It should be strategy thinking machine. It should be creative input and processes, not a constant running mental load that you're having to remind yourself about, because a lot of these responsibilities fall on you and there's so many things to think about. Automate a lot of that. I mean, I even have reminders for when I take my vitamins or medications, or when it's time to walk my dog, or reminding myself to do like a half-hour workout or water my plants, like the frequency and the timing that I need it. I automate that. So that eliminates a lot of the mental load, so that my mind is free for strategic thinking, creative thinking. That's one way to really protect your energy. But I want you to also think about protecting your calendar like it is sacred, because it is. You know, block time that is non-negotiable. That block you should have is not for clients. It is not for your team. It is for your deep work, your thinking. It could be for the family time that's incredibly important to you, where you're going to put your phone away and really be present with your family. And, whatever is sacred to you, I have found that if it is not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. It's not going to happen. So I have scheduled time to practice the drums. I have mentioned this before. I am teaching myself how to play the drums. It is super fun and awesome. Very good, like energy boost and stress relief, because you get to hit stuff. It's great. And I will schedule time for that. I will schedule time for my arm workout, or I even have a reminder to take a deep breath, honestly, because I realize when I see that reminder and I pause and I take a deep breath, I realize I have been breathing in a shallow way all day long, because that deep breath feels so restorative. So actually, let's do it right now. I'm going to take a big deep breath. You do it with me. I know for sure I haven't taken a deep breath all day long, because that felt so good. And it definitely was the first time I've had that much of a deep breath all day. It is so good to do that. Little reminders. I also have little reminders that pop up and tell me how I want to show up, how I want to feel that day, how I want to feel in my day, so that I get myself, kind of jolted back into the right headspace. I mean, maybe that's excessive, but I kind of live and die by the reminders in my phone and my calendar. And when I block out the time, it is like I've already made that decision. I decided that I don't have to think about it or decide again because I already made that decision that this is how I'm going to spend this block of time. And so it feels actually really good to eliminate that decision fatigue and to know that I've blocked out my calendar so that I have that time allocated for the things that are sacred to me that matter the most. Also, batch your energy, not just your tasks. Here's what I mean by that. It's not just, do all of your calls on Tuesday. I mean that you should understand the type of work that drains you versus energizes you. And then structure your week so you're not doing all of the draining stuff in a row, but you're kind of mixing it up. And I also batch my energy for like stretches of time where I know that I can, like when I can be on camera, like today, that I had enough time to get ready and take a shower and then sort of capitalize on the fact that I'm quote unquote camera ready. I mean, I'm not saying I'm like a glamazon, but I'm not in my dog walking attire. So I can jump on and I have to record some content for a partnership that I have for social media for one of my sponsors. And I have, I've recorded a couple podcasts today because I'm feeling energized. And I got to walk my dog this morning. I always walk the dog, but sometimes it's a quickie and I got to get back. I had a call with my coaching community, like I mentioned, and those calls energize me. That is the kind of work that fills my cup. And now I'm showered, I'm ready to go, and I feel energized. So I'm going to record some podcasts so that I can bring a little bit of energy and enthusiasm to the stuff that we're talking about when you and I spend time together right now. So it's like batching that energy. If I have like a quote unquote sort of camera ready day, or one day that I'm like just totally working behind the scenes, not camera ready, not taking any Zoom calls, my kids are not getting home from school early, and I get to pick them up at the normal time. So I know I have until a certain amount of time. I'm going to do deep work and I'm going to review things that I need to write or that I have to copy edit so that I can be really, really focused and not have to worry about getting that done quickly so that I could do other tasks that require kind of a different level of my energy or a different version of myself that day. It's like focused around the energy I have. And I noticed that my energy levels ebb and flow during the week. And when it comes to Fridays, I don't schedule anything. And that's like dealer's choice day. I can be super casual and focus on, I can clean out the garage if I want to. I don't have to work at all. Or I can just have no meetings and no calls and no deadlines. My team knows not to schedule any deadlines for me on a Friday. And I can decide the kind of work that I want to do that day, depending on how I'm feeling. Because sometimes on Fridays, I'm really, really tired and I kind of need a mental break. And other Fridays, I'm like, let's go. Like I have a new idea for a product or a service or a way that I want to integrate AI. I'm currently using Claude, and I'll just dial into that and be like, okay, I need some focus here where I'm not having to distract myself with some work that's looming, and I can just go all in on my idea and see how far I get and then get really excited about something that I'm building. So think about batching your energy and focusing on, tasks that are going to bring you energy, not like scheduling something that sucks the life out of you. Like a client call with a client that is kind of like maybe not the easiest discussions to have. And then trying to record a podcast right after that, it is not going to work. That is just not how it works. So really think about when you're doing tasks, how it adds to or detracts from your energy level, and start to build out your days and your weeks around energy related tasks that will, help you keep the right energy for the right experiences. Also, create buffers between calls, between client projects, between work and home. I happen to work from home, but I am not doing housework when I'm at work. even though I'm seeing it. I can see all the dishes. Maybe I'll add a couple dishes to the dishwasher, but I'm not like washing all the dishes and like doing, cleaning the kitchen. I'm trying to just keep it functional, right? Um, Back to back to back, anything where it's like mentally with no break, that is going to empty your tank and your energy is going to be depleted and you're constantly context shifting with no time to get centered. So build in like a 15 to 30-minute buffer that gives you a little bit of space to breathe, to reset, between doing things, because that will change everything for you. And maybe the call ends early and you have more than 15 minutes or a half hour, and you can decide, are there a couple like 2-minute tasks? Like I have a couple things to return from my online shopping and I have a package to send out for something I sold on Poshmark. That's going to take me all of 2 minutes and it needs to get done. And so if I have a little bit of extra time, I'll just do that. And, it feels good to get a task done. It's tangible. I can put them outside. I know they're going to get picked up and that is off my plate altogether. And it's a good use of that downtime that doesn't take a lot of mental energy, but at least I'm not constantly running. My husband is always calling people, clients, prospects, because his business is very focused on relationship building, referrals. He has breakfast meetings, he has coffee meetings, he has lunch meetings, he has social, evening things that he goes to with his networking group. And he's really busy during the day working and he wants to play tennis and do all these things. He's constantly like, go, go, go. He has so much energy, but it, for me, feels like it's too much. If I have 5 phone calls in a row, oh my God, you're going to have to scrape me off the floor. I'm going to be so tired. People always say that I'm an extrovert, but I'm not, because I have been told that an introvert or an extrovert is where you get your energy from. And I feel drained when I'm talking a lot to people and I need a little bit of time to like decompress. Next up, I want you to think about delegating. Delegate those energy vampires. This is different than delegating for efficiency. This is about identifying the specific tasks that drain you disproportionately, the ones that suck the life out of you. Even if you're good at them, think about those things that really drain you and get them off your plate. For me, that was certain admin tasks. Like, I don't love creating client reports. I'm good at it. I don't like it. I just don't want to do it. And so my team does all of the client reports for the clients that they're the primary lead on those accounts. And then I can look at it, zhuzh it, make it great, and, make it my own, and, quickly get it out the door. But I realized that it was like an energy drain to me. So I wasn't doing them in a timely manner. And that's just a big no-no. I don't love sending invoices and billing. So I have somebody that takes care of that for me. So for you, it might be social media or invoicing also, or something else entirely. But think about the things that drain you in a certain way where it's like you're working in your drudgery zone. You just don't love it. You feel like, oh, I know I'm good at this. I can be, probably like one of the best members of the team that does this piece of the puzzle, but I don't love it. And I realize that I am avoiding it and therefore I'm the bottleneck. And that's what your team is for. I want you to focus on things that light you up, that bring you energy, where you're working in your zone of genius. That will help you build a business that continues to energize you, that you love showing up for day to day, week to week, or for me, year to year. I'm now 21 years into this business and I love it. And it's because I do the work in the business that I really love and I delegate the things that I don't, because before I did that, I was the bottleneck and that wasn't good. And I didn't want to do the things that were looming that I didn't totally love. So now I have support to do that. I also want you to learn to say no at kind of a higher level. When you were small, saying no meant turning down one client. But as you scale, saying no means turning down partnership opportunities or different types of work. Maybe it's um, podcast, guest opportunities that aren't quite a fit. And normally you'd say yes, like, oh, an interview is an interview. But now it's like you've got to get on a call to prepare for the podcast. And then you have to get them your bio and you have to get them your headshot, and then you have to review their questions and get prepared for them. And then you have to get all ready, camera ready, get on a podcast. And it's like hours of your time. And it's like, what is this even for? Maybe it's a speaking invitation. I've said no to speaking invitations out of town, like where I'd have to take an airplane and fly across the country. And it's not a priority for me because I don't want to leave my family and my routine and my home and my pets and my kids and my husband and all of that for that long to be part of a speaking engagement where I'll then say, I'm not able to make it to the event in, Florida at this time, but I would love to speak virtually over Zoom and do a masterclass on XYZ topic. Would that be of interest to you? Now you get in front of the same audience and you save all of that. Yes, there's value to being in person, and some people love to travel for work. I used to, that's just not where I am in my life anymore. But if you still want to have that connection to this group or engagement with this community, offer to do it virtually. And now you have a recording and an asset that you can use for other purposes or social media content. And you're able to connect even on a more personal level because you can take questions, and now you're in front of your computer. You can connect with people on LinkedIn and make it a different kind of a connection without saying yes to traveling across the country for a speaking engagement, or maybe a project that sounds cool, but it doesn't totally align. When you grow and you're like scaling and you're working at a higher level, the stakes of your no's also get higher. But so does the importance of actually using that power to say no and determine what your priorities are. So I want you to also think about the support infrastructure that you need in place in order to scale, because you cannot scale with willpower alone. Because trust me, I have tried. I'm like, I will figure this out. I am going to make this happen. In order to scale and not drain yourself where you're just completely resenting your business, you need systems and you need people. You need a team you can trust, even if it is a small one, so that you are not carrying everything yourself. You are not constantly thinking about all of the things that have to get done and managing the things in your personal life, your home, your family, the business, all the things that are like running through your head. You need a team, even if it's a virtual assistant for like 10 hours a week or something, that is going to lighten the load and make you feel so much better and lighter and more energized in your business, because you can offload a lot of these things. You can create SOPs for everything that recurs in your business so that your brain isn't reinventing the wheel every week. SOPs, standard operating procedures. It might sound complicated, but it is literally as simple as recording your screen while you're doing a task. You can narrate what it is that you're doing, and you can use that to show and train a team member, how you do something, what you expect it to look like, and how you want it to be done to your standards. Great, super easy, but you can also automate, like I said, automate a lot of the things that are just kind of mentally like, I have a reminder on the first of the month to send out my invoices. And just before the end of the month, there's a reminder that we need to finalize our reporting and send them to the clients, because I like to get the reports out and then I like to ask for the money. So, have a little alert there that takes that off my plate so I don't have to say, oh yeah, it's the first. And if the first falls on like, let's say a Saturday, I want to get my invoice to the client on that Friday so that I'm not waiting till Monday, and now instead of the first, it's the third, and then the clock starts. Like, I want to get paid as fast as possible. So I will send little alerts to myself on the things professionally, personally, that I just want to ensure I don't forget. And I made that decision, and that's when I'm sending the bills, and I reminded myself of it, and I don't have to think about it again. I don't have to decide again, and I don't have to remember. You can have a coach hi, I would love to support you, a mentor, a community, someone who can help you see and navigate the blind spots that you can't see when you're in it. We actually had a call with our community, and one of our members is using our proposal template and customizing it for her own business. And this was the first time she was using it. And she had been 6 hours in Canva, really making it beautiful, really making it her own. I mean, we give you like a great template that you can use, customize it easily, but you have to put the information in there, and it's a lot to think through for the first time you do it. And she was so dialed in, and it was looking awesome. But she shared it on her screen during a call, and I was taking a look at it, and I'm just noticing a few like grammatical errors or ways that she could punch up her case studies to be even more impactful. And she was like, I never would have even thought about that. I missed this grammatical error, this spelling error, this typo, whatever, but also beefing up my case studies to really show. Now it's got me thinking, like, not only did I get this TV feature, but then they asked him back as a regular contributor. And then from that, he used one of those clips and submitted for 30 under 30 or 40 under 40, I can't remember, in his city, and ended up winning it because he used the clip that I got him. So it's like not just the feature that I was showing, but that impact that it had for him in furthering his thought leadership positioning that came from that. I'm like, that's what you need to show in a case study. It's not just look at this TV feature that I got, but what was the impact for the client? And that's the visibility, the awareness, the clarity that can come from having a coach, a mentor, a community that can help you navigate those blind spots and help you improve your work. Honestly, also have some personal support too. Um, Childcare, there's no shame in having, I mean, our childcare game kind of changed throughout the years from having a nanny to somebody that like picked up the kids. And now I'm the one that picks up the kids from school and their bus stops and all of that. Um, that has changed, but it absolutely was imperative. I tried for like the first 8 months of my first son being born to run my business and be mom and do all of that. And it wasn't joyful for me. I wasn't able to do both things to the level that I wanted to. So I got some support in the home, and it was a total game changer. And I didn't allow myself to feel guilty for that. I just recorded another podcast episode, not sure which order these are going to come out, but just talking about allowing your kids to see you work, even when it's challenging or you're overcoming like a hardship. My kids have always seen me work, and there's a lot of value that they get out of that because they're seeing their mom build something and feel a strong sense of purpose and bring in money for the family and, pursue her dreams and do work that's meaningful. I want my kids to see that. And in order to be able to do that, I needed, at the time when they were little, I needed childcare. And so there's no shame in that, to the level that you can afford or what you're comfortable with. Also get household help. Like I said, you can automate groceries and so many things that you need to keep your household running smoothly. But I have somebody that cleans my house because I did not want to spend my weekends that I should be focusing on family and connection and recharging my batteries cleaning toilets. I mean, there's no problem. I have no problem doing it. But like, it's just, you've got a house with multiple bedrooms and multiple common areas, and you're just constantly like doing this deep clean on your weekends. That's my time to recharge. And I feel like that is an investment in buying my time back. That's buying my time back by having somebody, I pay them very well to like come, and she's wonderful. I treat her very, very, very well. She's incredible. And I'm so grateful for that support in the house because it's a way for me to get back my time to do the things that are more rejuvenating, energizing, more of a priority for connecting with my family. Maybe it's hiring a therapist for yourself, a therapist for, you and your spouse. For me and my husband, we have somebody that's like a therapist and coach that we talk to about challenges we have with our kids, or how we can like support each other better, how we can, all the things. It's like all just coming from a place of like positivity and wanting to be better communicators, better parents. But it's immensely helpful because that meeting with the therapist helps you prioritize those things that could use some attention, and then having an appointment on the calendar and accountability to like show up and talk about them, and then implement those suggestions so that you come back the next week or 2 weeks later and talk about what impact that had. Did it work? Were you consistent? It's part support and part accountability, and it's very, very helpful. Sometimes you don't always want to talk to your friends about the things that are weighing on you, or your spouse, and having a therapist is a total game changer in getting the support that you need when you need it. Whatever keeps you functioning at your best, those are the things that you should really prioritize and not feel guilty about it. Like, I don't feel guilty about not being the one that cleans my house. I mean, granted, I clean a lot. I'm like tidying, straightening, wiping down, but like the deep clean on a weekly basis and most of the laundry, that's just not how I want to spend my time. And I am really grateful that I made that decision. Again, I decided once and I never questioned it. It's a standing day and time. It's weekly. It used to be every other week. And then I was like, it's a lot of laundry and like we need the support more frequently. So yeah, we have somebody come, and it's been a total game changer. And I love having my weekends to do whatever I want. So it's great. And then there's this permission piece. So here's what I want you to hear. It's that protecting your energy, it is not selfish. It is not lazy. It is not weak. It is not soft. It's not selfish. It is the most strategic thing that you can do for your business, for yourself. A burnt out CEO makes bad decisions. A burnt out mom cannot show up for her family at the level that they need or that she wants to show up. But a rested and clear-headed CEO, we build empires. You're allowed to grow and have boundaries. You're allowed to scale and still pick up your kids at 3 p.m., which now that I'm looking at my clock, it's about that time. You're allowed to build something big and protect the life that you built it for. Because remember, I think about this all the time. I didn't leave law, a career I worked so hard to achieve and to get to that level. I did not leave all of that to build another job that owns me. I built it for time freedom and flexibility, and to choose the clients I want to work with, and to do work that lights me up and makes me feel gratified and fulfilled, and to own my day and own my time. I didn't do it to build another job that keeps me tethered to my desk, working nonstop, putting out fires, and feeling frazzled and stressed. And neither did you. So think about that. Scale your business, yes, but protect what makes you in the process. Your energy is the engine of everything, not just your business, but as the leader of your home and your family. And, you're the engine of everything. You're the core of everything, and your energy really matters. And the Agency Accelerator, the program that I've been running for about 13 or so years, And I've supported hundreds of women and teaching them this proven framework and giving them the tools and the templates and the strategies and workbooks and templates and things that they can use today immediately in their business and the strategies behind them. It is built around exactly this, that solopreneur to CEO shift, where you are the visionary and not the bottleneck, and where growth doesn't cost you your life, your sanity, your freedom, your flexibility, your joy. Like, that's not what I'm here to teach you. Grow, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. Like, that is not it. That's not the life that I want. So if that's the business that you want to build, come join me, because it is awesome and life-changing. And I can say that with confidence because every single time we connect with our members on our calls or over email or whatever, they are telling us that they are seeing immediate positive growth and, financial like growth coming in. Like, things feel lighter, things feel more easy, and they flow better in their businesses. And if you want that for yourself, you can start at generationacademy.com. And do yourself a favor. We have this really cool tool. It is a free premium positioning audit. You can grab that at generationacademy.com/audit. It'll take you about 5 minutes and it'll finally tell you why premium clients are not finding you, why you are not landing the caliber of clients that you deserve, and exactly where you need to focus in order to change that. So again, grab the free, totally free, really awesome premium positioning audit at generationacademy.com/audits. It's really good. I can't wait to hear what you uncover in your positioning that can be a simple change that will help you bring in the right kinds of clients into your pipeline. And I want you to go out there and be awesome and totally crush it this week, because I'm going to be over here crushing it too. And I can't wait to see you next week on the next episode of the Pitching Powerhouse podcast. See you soon.